How's it going, everybody? Now, this is an odd video I'm gonna drop on Thanksgiving, but it's just 3 really scary, true pet sitting horror stories. I was gonna do some horror stories, right? But I was like, I think I did Thanksgiving horror stories last year. Let's switch it up a bit, right? We'll do some pet sitting ones. Oh no, on the holidays, it's weird. I like to drop horror stories. Is that weird? I don't know. Let's go. I'm ready. Bye, Mr. Nightmare. Nonetheless. This is like the only horror guy I watch. I will say I would be watching this in the dark, but I got the lights on so my model actually fucking moves.
When I was in college, I used to house sit for a family for a few years when they would go on their annual family vacations.
Again, I'm just gonna go ahead and say all 3 of these stories or problems could be solved with a shotgun. And most of the time, I'm fucking right.
I've had a handful of other scary, creepy experiences, but the one I want to talk about today is the one that forced me to quit house sitting for them. I was in my 20s and was trying to make ends meet. House sitting was one of the many side hustles I had. The family would be going on a 2-week vacation abroad and wouldn't have any service.
You gotta be crazy to break. No, chat. Imagine how scary it would be. You go to break into a house, right? You've never been in there before. You don't know the layout. You don't know where you're going. You go inside. It's pitch black. You don't know where and you just hear a dog barking at you, fucking running at you. That shit would be terrifying.
So if anything went wrong, I would have to call the police or their relatives depending on the situation. Please keep in mind that I've already had a few creepy experiences with their house prior to this, but it was never scary enough to deter me because they paid me very well. I used to work at an animal shelter, so I was well versed in animal care, and I knew about cat behavior. This family had 4 cats who were all very well behaved. For the first few days, all was well. I slept in the guest bedroom and went to school from their house because they lived close enough to where I could just walk to class and didn't have to pay for parking or bring lunch since I could just go back to their place. Then the issues began after a few days. My boyfriend at the time came over with dinner to keep me company, as he knew I was always—
Is there YouTube settings to get, I don't know, good looking subtitles or something? Make them a little more easy to look at?
a bit creeped out by the house.
I guess.
We sat in the guest bedroom and watched TV for a few hours eating.
Wait, my bad, what'd you say?
My boyfriend at the time came over with dinner to keep me company, as he knew I was always a bit creeped out by the house. We sat in the guest bedroom and watched TV for a few hours eating, until he said he needed to go home.
What?
Sometimes he'd sleep over, but he told me on this particular—
bro's selling. Bro's got— God is probably, smashing his head into a wall right now, bro. He sets you 2 up with your girl in a house by yourself. You have the whole place to yourself. It's nighttime and you want to go home. Yo. What are we—
night that he had a strong gut feeling he needed to sleep at home. He urged me to go home because that gut feeling he had was really bad. At that point, it was around midnight, and to be honest, I didn't want to go home. To put it bluntly, I have a complicated home life and didn't get along with my parents.
Go to his house.
The only time I'd get a break from home was the annual house sitting once a year, and I didn't feel like wasting it. My only sibling, who's also my best friend, moved out due to the toxicity, and honestly, home wasn't home without them anymore. I told him that I'll be fine, and I'll lock up after he left. He was still really uneasy, and tried to persuade me to go home once again.
Just stay with her, bro.
He tried to explain that while he had slept over before, for some reason tonight, the house just felt unsettling. I thought it was because the house was over a century old, but it was just renovated, so I felt better about it. I reminded him that there was a home security alarm that I always set, the neighborhood was safe, and I had 4 friendly cats with me.
Oh, yeah.
He reluctantly left and drove home, and that was when it started happening. I shut all the doors and windows, locked everything, and set the security alarm. Once I got comfortable in bed, the TV started to turn on by itself.
What?
We were just using the TV, so I thought I accidentally sat on the remote, but I saw the remote on the nightstand. I quickly turned it off.
Alright, chat, if it's a ghost door, I can't do nothing about that, bro. My shotgun, yes. We might lose round 1.
Just as it went off, it turned back on.
Stop.
I thought it was strange since the TV was working perfectly the entire night.
No way someone's in the house with a remote.
It was even stranger that when the TV turned on by itself, it went to this off channel, like it was just black and white, like it had no signal.
As soon as he leaves.
So I kept turning it off, and it kept turning on. I began to freak out and unplug the TV entirely.
Bruh.
Even though I'd had creepy experiences before in this
Bro, immediately call your boyfriend and say, hey, turn the around right now.
house, this one had never happened before.
He probably ain't even pull out the driveway
I told
yet.
myself that the house was just renovated. Maybe there were some wiring issues.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
I still didn't go home and went and slept on the couch instead. The next
Wiring
day,
issues,
my
chat.
boyfriend came over again. I told him about what happened the night before, and he told me that I should have just went home. I was pretty freaked out, but honestly, it was still not as bad as having to deal with my family. That night, we had dinner together again and watched a movie in the living room.
Oh,
For this next
day.
part, I do have to explain the house structure. The house is 2 floors. There's
Okay.
a first floor where you come in through the front door straight into the living
bro.
room.
I'm looking at the pictures of the houses he shows to begin with, and that's how I picture the layout of the house. He should have put a 2-story one.
And the second floor is actually the basement, which is
What?
essentially a big living room with another room that can be used as a spare bedroom. The stairs leading downstairs are incredibly creaky and creepy. I don't understand why they didn't fix it during the renovation. As for the cats, they love to be everywhere and anywhere. They all had the personality where they wanted to be around you, but not necessarily held or cuddled. They were all pretty calm cats that
Fair.
liked quieter environments. Of the 4 cats, there was one cat that was the youngest at around 3 years old, and he was just a bit smaller than the other 3.
My cat
That-
hates people, bro. Anytime somebody's over, they're gone. They're not out here.
Night, as we watched the movies, my blood ran cold as I heard sounds from the basement that sounded like an infant crying. My boyfriend froze as he
What the
slowly turned to look at me, as if
Nah.
signaling to me silently if I heard it too. I remembered from my time working in the animal shelter during my training that sometimes cats sound like babies, especially if they're in duress. As I mentioned earlier, the cats like to be around people and will follow you around the house, but not close enough to cuddle. I counted and only
No.
counted 3.
Stop.
The little younger cat was missing.
Stop.
I
Stop.
figured it must be the younger cat and went downstairs to the basement where I found it stuck in the spare room. He was smaller but more energetic than the other cats. He somehow closed the door behind him and was stuck in the room
he
all
ain't closed that
alone.
door.
I carried him up the stairs and we resumed the movie.
No, stop. I know it's going.
Mid-movie, we did pause it as it was time to feed the cats. The owners had a strict food schedule for their cats. The cat's food station was in the kitchen, and the kitchen was the only area that connected to the basement. To best explain the layout of the house, the main entrance connects to the living room. The living room then diverges into 2 different sections. One connects to the kitchen, and the other connects to 3 bedrooms. One being the spare bedroom, a master bedroom, and another bedroom that belongs to the family's child, with the
Okay.
living room being connected to the kitchen as well. The kitchen was the connecting area where you must enter it to go to the basement or living
This is only the first story, by the way.
room. For these cats, the only time that they didn't want to be around humans was while they were eating and after they ate, as they like to take naps or rest with their full bellies. They like
My
to
bro,
nap
look at
in the
me like
master
that.
bedroom or the teenager's room, as it smells like their family.
Okay, completely random side note. I think these cats are my favorite. And it don't even look like the cat I got.
They always did this every year that I babysat them, so it wasn't new. It also wasn't unusual to not see them for a little bit after mealtime. We finished our movie and went into the kitchen, void of any cats. As we were enjoying dinner, we both once again heard crying noises from the basement. It was naturally louder because we were in the kitchen, which was closer to the basement. I didn't see any cats in the kitchen, and I didn't
Bro.
think to check the living room because I was panicking internally. My boyfriend was visibly creeped out, and I
Okay,
told
he's
him I'd
still
check it
there.
out since it was
Good.
likely the cat again.
No.
I couldn't help but notice that the cries sounded a little different from earlier.
Bitch, we
It
both
was more
going down there to
frequent and
f-
higher
talking about.
pitched. I turned on the lights to the basement and slowly crept down the stairs, saying the cat's name. With each step, the crying got louder, but when I finally made it down, the crying abruptly stopped. I checked the spare room, any crevices, and under the
Bro.
couch. He was nowhere. At that point, I was feeling so scared and could hear my heartbeat in my
You better have but you better have the thing in the other hand and like the flashlight, bro. You better be swatting that room.
head.
Why did I say that like I'm swatting?
I don't even
You better swat that room.
go on regular walks. I definitely don't jog, and I absolutely don't run. but I ran up those stairs like my life depended on it. When I got back into the kitchen, I felt my whole body go cold as my heart sank.
Why?
My boyfriend was standing in the kitchen with a horrid look on his face as all 4 cats surrounded him.
Bro.
He told me that as I went down the stairs to the crying noises, the 4 cats came out at the same time from the area where the bedrooms were. No cat had been downstairs the entire time.
Bro.
I immediately and silently packed up my items, jammed it into my backpack, and we both left the house. For the remaining week, I would only return to the house once a day to clean the litter box and feed them. I know I was going against their eating schedule, but at that point, I really didn't care.
Yeah, no,
After
fuck
the last
you, bitch.
day, I locked up.
There's a
got the
reason
keys
the
into
owner
their
ain't going. Nah, there's a reason the owner ain't going home, bro.
hiding spot, thanked them for the opportunity, but that it was my last time, and I never returned.
You want to tell
I
them
hated
why?
that house.
Give them a heads up.
Looking back, the experiences I had each year seemed like it was escalating. I should have stopped much sooner. I still remember calling my sibling during the drive to my parents' house after the incident. I felt even worse when they revealed that they also had their own experience in that house and kept it away from me because they knew I was trying to save money to move out and they didn't want to scare me.
Bro. Bro. Nah! That shit's... Nah. Chat, that's actually terrifying, bro. I mean, as of right now... Yeah, number 1 got the best one right now.
First, I'll start off with descriptions of all of those involved. My name is Kelsey. I was 17
Kelsey.
years old at the time of this event.
Okay.
I'm 5'3". My friend Haley's 5'8". My friend Sammy is 5'7". It was March 19th, 2016. I was dog sitting at my mom's friend's
5 ain't that short for a girl, though, right?
house for some extra cash to help me out before going off to college next year. It was a cool spring night, and the people I was dog sitting for have a super cool sunroom where my friends and I like to smoke. So I decided to invite 2 of my other friends over to spend the night and make this whole dog sitting thing more fun. Haley and Sammy were a little older, with Haley being 23 and Sammy being 22. They brought over some vodka for us to drink. We hung out for a couple hours, drinking, smoking, laughing, and catching
Crazy.
up. Then we start to get a bunch of phone calls. Now normally this would not be weird, except for the fact that the phone was supposed to be disconnected. We ignore the first couple phone calls, thinking they'll leave a message or
Yeah,
a
you're
call
gonna answer and he's gonna say, "What's your favorite scary movie?" That's what's gonna happen.
back in the morning, as it was nearly midnight. The calls were persistent, and we could tell
Pick up
this
the
person was
phone.
not going to leave us alone until we answered. Sammy decided to answer the phone, and there was a man on the line, claiming to have the owner's wallet at a gas station 25 minutes from the house,
Stop
which
the
did
cat.
not make sense. This man insisted that we come pick up the wallet now, which we all found extremely odd. After minutes of this man insisting that it was urgent that we come pick up the wallet, Sammy finally
Nah, cause how did bro get the landline number to this house? How? Like, I know there's phone books and shit, but
got the man to
Leave it-
understand that we
give it-
were not leaving the house and that we'll get it in the morning.
Yeah, give it to the gas station owner or wherever the fuck he said he was, and I'll come pick it up in the morning, bro.
We hung up the phone and all got a weird feeling in our stomachs.
With my 6'5", light-skinned, neck-tatted boyfriend, bro. I just want to make that clear. Like, we'll come tomorrow to get it.
Grab the dog, Willis, and run into the back bedroom, shut all the blinds, and lock the door. We already have impaired judgment because of the weed and booze. We talk things out, and we decide we were just being paranoid, and the man was just trying to make sure we get the wallet back to the owner
Nah,
safely.
bro.
Hours go by of us drinking and smoking some more. Then we
There
decide to watch
you
a
go.
funny movie and make some food to calm down
Yeah, they're
and get
dead,
ready for
GG.
bed that night. We move from the sunroom to the living room and pop in a DVD. The sunroom is located in between the kitchen and living room of the house and the backyard by the pool. The door in between the
Bro, I bet those speakers are loud as shit.
pool and the sunroom does not have a lock on it, but the door that's in between the kitchen living
What door doesn't have a lock on it?
We move from the sunroom to the living room and pop in a DVD. The sunroom is located in between the kitchen and living room of the house and the backyard by the pool. The door in between the pool and the sunroom does not have a lock on it, but
Who the So why when you didn't say, "Hey guys, can we put in a door with a lock on it?" Because let me tell you, you can change the door on a sunroom.
the door that's in between the kitchen
Hell, you
living
can
room
put a
and the
lock on any
sunroom
door.
does
I
not
like
have a
that.
dog door for Willis to go out back to go to the bathroom. So we all agree that although we were a little spooked by the phone call, we were in a safe neighborhood, and Willis would bark if anything were to come to the door.
Oh yeah, Willis will protect him.
Time creeps by. We
And
were
Willis
laughing
starts
on the
barking.
couches.
And Willis
Haley and I
starts...
sitting next to each other on one, and Sammy across the room on the other. The clock struck 3 a.m., and that's when things started to get creepy. Remember earlier how we left the lockable door open to the sunroom so that Willis could get outside to pee? That's
You just said it couldn't lock.
where he entered from. I'm fully immersed in the comedy, but do you ever get that unexplainable feeling that you're being watched by somebody? That feeling suddenly became overpowering. I turn towards the kitchen and see a dark mass hunched over in the kitchen. I freeze and for a second think I'm seeing things.
Now
I
chat,
watch as
no.
this
I'm 0-2 right now, because I said a shotgun will solve all these problems. Now, yeah, I don't think being drunk and high is the perfect conditions to be shooting a shotgun and shit. Especially with two allies in the room. Like, I don't think you want to...
mass reaches up into the cabinet, and that's when I realize there's someone in the house.
No shit.
I nudge Haley's side with my elbow and say real quietly, Haley, I think there's somebody in the house.
Bitch, they already know you're there. You might as well be screaming, yo, Haley, there's some up over there in the kitchen.
She looks into the kitchen and screams bloody murder. This dark mass then whips his head around and looks directly at me. We make eye contact, and I felt my entire body tense up.
GG's, it's over.
All I could see were his piercing blue eyes contrasting against the orange lamp just below the cabinet on the table. Everything else was
Hell, all he has to do is grab one of these fucking plates. That's all he really needs right now. He's up against 3 drunk and high women. Bro, yeah.
covered by his black hoodie, pants, shoes, and gloves. He even wore a ski mask that covered up to his nose and mouth. Sammy then gets up to look at what Haley and I are staring at, and somehow musters up the courage to yell, "Get the fuck out!"
Yeah.
He calmly closes the cabinet and slowly walks out the sunroom doors.
I've explained this before, but yelling at a person in this situation when you're the one, like, it's either a power play or a bitch play, because, like, depending on the tone and, like, how shaky your... Because if you're trying to get the fuck out of here and your voice is all shaky, you can barely get the words out, that's gonna give him the advantage here. But if you got that tone and confidence, right, like you meaning like, get the fuck out of here, right, like you actually mean that shit and you look like you're about to go beat his ass, he might actually think about leaving for a second.
We immediately get up and rush to the corner of the room farthest from where he was crouching and call 911. They arrive 3 minutes later and search the entire apartment, take our statements, and sit outside the house for the rest of the night to see if the intruder would come back.
So that play can basically give you aura or lose aura. There is
The
no
3 of us did
in-between.
not stick around long enough to see if he would. We leave our booze, weed, and my car all at the house with the cops and the dog and head home. We
Good.
come back the next day to find clothes all throughout the house messed with,
Bruh.
and crumbs by the doggy door, understandably so Willis wouldn't bark at whoever came in. To this day, we still have no idea who called us and or who came into that house.
Probably
I
the
have
same
not
guy
been
that
back
called.
since.
Okay. I still think the first one, like, that was scary, but less scary because you have 2 people with you. Now, if you're by yourself, that would be way more scary than the baby thing. But I don't know, the baby thing would be scary by yourself too. Fuck, chat, which one do you think is more terrifying?
I'm 28 years old. I've been an animal lover ever since I was a child, which led to me
Forgot to
pursuing
drop
a
a
career path that had to do with animals.
Like the...
I'm a veterinary assistant, but for a while I also had a little side gig in which I'd offer to house sit animals for people going away on vacation and such.
Okay.
This ranged from cats to dogs to birds. I had actually house sat entire
Isn't
weekends
being a vet harder than being a doctor? Because you have to learn about different, like, organs and shit with the animals, depending on how many different animals you work with. Like,
a few times for people
Shout
who
out to vets,
presumably
bro.
didn't have any family available to watch them.
true
Being a
heroes.
young female who also already works at a veterinary hospital,
My bad, what'd you
actually
say?
house sat entire weekends a few times for people who presumably didn't have any family available to watch them. Being a young female who also already works at a veterinary hospital, most people weren't intimidated by the idea of me staying in their house while they're gone.
Fair.
I wasn't just some random person off the street. My credentials were all over the internet. I got a response to my ad one day from a man named Jeremy seeking my services. He had a 20-something-year-old macaw and a cat that he needed to have watched for a weekend while he went away.
Macaw, is that a
He
bird?
brought up a price right
Yo,
away.
I would love to watch a bird. That would be kind of fire.
Offered me $300 for the entire weekend.
Damn.
I accepted that offer because that was a fair deal. I have experience dealing with birds of all types, including macaws, but this would be my first time I'd ever watched one for an entire weekend. I met Jeremy at his house.
You guys think Jeremy's gonna be on some weird shit, or you think it's gonna be something else?
It was a basic, normal corner house for the neighborhood. He was a short man in his late 50s if I had to guess. He had graying hair and a graying mustache.
All right, do we judge a book by the cover, or think Jeremy's gonna pass the test? I don't.
He seemed very friendly. In my experience,
Okay, yeah,
most
Jeremy,
animal
yeah.
lovers are. After meeting Jeremy, I met his bird Ringo
He seemed
and
really friendly, but where's
his
the
cat
butt at?
Casper. Ringo was huge. I've handled macaws in the past, which I assumed was part of the reason Jeremy hired me. He told me about Ringo's personality and quirks and how to get him to quiet down
Is
if
it
he makes
Rango or
noises. Ringo kept saying "Daddy's home" as Jeremy would handle him. He laughed and said that's what he says when he sees him. Ringo said a few
Why is the bird saying that? Oh, hell no. Get out of there. Yo, leave.
other phrases along with that, all of them 2- or 3-word phrases. After showing me how to clean the cage and everything like that, he showed me the rest of the house and told me how often to feed Casper. He asked that I don't
There's
go
a
into
basement
any
with
other
people in
bedrooms
it, I'm telling
upstairs
you right
besides
now.
the guest bedroom where I'd be sleeping, which was understandable. There was a bathroom upstairs right next to the bedroom, and he told me I could help myself to his food. However, I'm a vegan, so I brought my own food for the
Alright.
weekend. After all of this, and him getting to know me a bit,
Jeremy goes, oh, you're vegan? Yeah, you can leave.
he gave me the key to the house and left. I watched through the window as he drove off, and I was left alone with Ringo and Casper. It was already late in the day at
So
this
damn,
point.
bro. Now we got 3 disadvantages. We a woman, a veterinarian, and a vegan.
Like 8 p.m. It was dark out, so there wasn't much left to do that night. Casper was already fed, and Jeremy already left enough food in Ringo's cage for the night. The cage was in the living room in the center of the house, right next to the TV, so I turned on the TV and plopped down on the couch. Casper was hiding somewhere in the house out of sight. Ringo was just sitting in the cage watching
Bro,
me.
I put Ringo
After
on
a
the couch
couple of
with me,
hours
bro.
of watching TV
He can
and
chill
eating
with
my
me.
little dinner, I went to bed. No reason to stay up super late. I slept with the bedroom door open, and I woke up
Why?
in the middle of the night to a sound. The best way I could describe it was 2 loud cracking sounds.
Footsteps.
I sat up and listened for a second.
Footsteps.
Nothing. So I laid back down and went back to sleep.
No.
There was a giant bird in a cage downstairs. Hearing sounds was not unexpected. The next day was pretty easy. I cleaned up Casper's litter box, fed him, and fed Ringo.
Ringo.
I let Ringo out to play for a couple of hours. He perched on the back of the couch behind me as I watched TV. Jeremy told me that Casper and Ringo typically ignore each other, so I wouldn't have to worry about one attacking the other. Fast forward a few hours, and I left the house to go explore the area a little bit. I went for a walk in the park and FaceTimed a couple of my friends. I did a little driving around too and picked up some food for
I
dinner
would've
that
FaceTimed
night
them
before
with
returning to
Ringo.
the house. It was around 7 o'clock when I returned. I interacted
Bro, I
with the
feel like
pet
if you just own a bird and like you walk around with that shit, I feel like that's just aura.
for a couple of hours as I
Unless
ate my
you're
dinner
Jeremy.
and watched TV.
Whatever this guy's name was. Again.
Jeremy was supposed to be
Jeremy,
returning
yep.
home late tomorrow. I called it a night early again.
Bro, he's already
I
home.
went to sleep with the door open again.
He's already home,
However,
I'm telling
once
you.
again, I woke up to a sound. This time, I believe it was the sound of the bedroom door closing. I looked
Yo.
up and saw that the bedroom door was now closed. While the windows were open, there was little to
Shut
no
up.
wind to create a draft.
I was about to say, shut up. Don't you dare give me that bullshit. Oh, it was just the wind.
This was weird. I also could hear sounds from downstairs. It sounded like Ringo moving about in his cage, talking. I got out of my bed to check on him and make sure he's okay. As I was walking down the stairs, I heard him talking more clearly. I got to the cage and saw he was wide awake
said
and
Daddy's
walking
home.
around. I remember what Jeremy told me to do to get him to quiet down. Hand him a particular treat. I dug into the bag to grab one, but then he said the phrase, "Daddy's home." I found that odd and slightly unsettling. I put a treat in front of Ringo's face and he grabbed it. This ultimately did end up getting him to stop making noise, but it still felt weird that he'd wake up in the middle of the night. I went back to the bedroom and left the door open. I fell back asleep. I shit you not, I woke up once again, maybe a little more than an hour later. This time I didn't hear what woke me up. I looked up in the room in a daze, and in the near pitch black darkness of the room, I saw a black mass in the center of the room, moving away from the bed and out the door. I sat up and almost screamed until I fully came to. I now had to wonder if what I just saw was a hallucination or not.
Bro.
I grabbed my phone to turn on the flashlight, but on the screen, I saw I had gotten a text from Jeremy around an hour ago. It was him telling me that if Ringo makes noises in the middle of the night, it's normal and to ignore it. I stared at my screen, rereading the text at least 10 times. That text was sent conveniently around the same time I got up to give Ringo a treat. I felt ill all of a sudden. That black mass in the room I just saw. What if that were real? What if it wasn't a hallucination? I got out of bed and turned on the lamp.
Bro, getting, like, attacked as you just wake up is just as bad as, like, being in a shower butt-ass naked and getting attacked. Like, those have to be the two most vulnerable places you can be. Like, being asleep, bro, like, you know when you just wake up, you already don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I don't know if you've ever had somebody talk to you, like, as soon as you wake up. Like, you don't know what the fuck they're saying. They're speaking gibberish right now, because, like, your brain ain't even on. So, like, you're most vulnerable right now as you're, like, getting up, but also with, I don't know what's worse. Being butt-ass naked in the shower and unexpecting something, or like, getting woken up. And somebody's right there, like, dude.
I started packing my bag as quickly as possible. I didn't bring many clothes, so I was packed very quickly.
Good.
I quietly went to the bathroom next to grab all my toiletries quick.
You went to the bathroom.
And then I tiptoed back out of the bathroom, and I was in the near pitch black upstairs hallway with all the bedroom doors.
He was at the end of it.
I looked down the hallway, and I could swear I heard the faintest sound coming from one of the bedrooms. I don't know why, but this overwhelming curiosity almost hypnotized me. And I crept down the hall to what I presumed to have been the master bedroom. I put my ear up close to the door, and I heard a rattling sound. It sounded like a bed rocking.
Why?
He was in there. That fucking creep. I knocked on the door and said, "Jeremy, are you in there?" The rocking sound stopped, and there was now dead silence. I repeated myself, and this time said, "If you're in the house, I need..."
Yeah, no. See, being a vegan has like messed with your brain, and now you doing dumb shit like knocking on weirdos' doors instead of leaving.
"Need to know right now before I leave." Still silence. I left the house in a hurry, leaving the key on the table, and I didn't look back. On my drive home, I sent him a long voice text saying I'm considering reporting this to the authorities as some sort of stalker or breach of privacy situation, and that I was extremely disturbed that he was in the house. He immediately tried calling me 3 times, but I was honestly too scared to pick up. He then sent me a text apologizing and stating that his brother unexpectedly came home that night.
Shut the
I knew it was complete horseshit. I demanded he
yeah, my brother.
Just pay me and I won't pursue this any further. He sent me a payment via Zelle, and that was that. I hate to even mention this part, but the next day, I realized I was missing a certain article of clothing from my bag that I know for a fact was grabbed out of my bag by him. I have largely chosen to block this memory out. This will be the first and last time I ever write a detailed recounting of this experience.
Bro. I don't know. I still want to say the baby was like, oh my, no. Chat, imagine, like, I don't even want to think about it, but, like, what she did, like, being in the bed, right, asleep, and then waking up and somebody's just there, bro. Fuck that. Dude, I don't know, like, nah, this one's worse because you're by yourself. This one's worse. And we still don't know what was in that basement. I don't want to know what was in the basement. Yeah, this one was good. This one was good. Oh, these are all awful. I do not want to be in any of these situations whatsoever. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought of this. Let me know which one you thought was the scariest. But that was 3 really scary true pet Sitting Horror Stories by Mr. Nightmare. Go check them out. Let me know if you want me to react to any other scary videos, because I love this shit. But sadly, they don't do too well on the channel. They do. They get some views, but not near as what the reactions to music get. But of course, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a good day.